Hi, everyone. Bill Rensselaer in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It is Wednesday, and that means it's Crime Stoppers Day, and it's the second Wednesday of the month, and that means very timely we get to hang out with UNL PD's Captain Aaron Pembleton because LPS is back to school today, but it's, I think, a week from tomorrow. You guys
Here come the Huskers.
Here it comes. Yep. We said before we started, it's the big deep breath before you jump off the end of the diving board.
Right. Yep. Here you go. Here they come. And we've talked about this before. Just the uniqueness of campus. Of this week, it's still like very calm. There's not a lot of stuff going on. But then next week, it's like someone flips on the light switch and they're just everywhere.
Yeah.
So, but it's a fun time of year.
What would you say the population on campus is during the school year? I mean,
during the school year,
I know the enrollment, but like it's probably like what 20,000 kids
at minimum. Yeah, I mean, there's 24,000 students. Is our 25-ish is enrollment, but then we employ another 8,000 people.
So almost 30,000.
Yeah, people. I mean, not that all of them are on campus at the same time, but you're probably upper teens every day are floating through campus. So yeah.
That's the reason why the streets get
that
many more cars.
Yes,
get pulled into downtown. But it's one of your favorite times of year, right? I know you said before, campus just comes to life.
It does. There's so many events, so many different things, and I think a lot of cops are people. Yeah. We like people.
Yeah.
So to be out and meet new people, where they come from, how they got here, what their experiences are, it's just a great time, and it's a great place to be and just to meet people. So all our officers were prepping to be out and be on bike, be on foot, be around campus, try to greet the people as they come in, and you'll see the deer in the headlights of freshmen walking around like, where am I going? And you're like, that building. That's the one you're looking for. So yeah, we try to be out there and be in front of them and greet them and welcome to their Husker life for the next couple years.
There we go. All right, we'll talk more about a bunch of that stuff here in just a second. First, though, again, this is Crime Stopper, so
it is.
We have a crime. We have an individual we're looking for.
We have a whodunit.
We need some tips.
Yes.
And it sounds like this is a case. I'll punch it up here. You can kind of walk us through. We've had some tips on this individual, but they haven't panned out. That's okay.
It is.
We'd rather know about it and have it not pan out than not know at all.
Exactly. Yeah, we've had some tips come in, but and we haven't talked about this one, so hopefully between me and you pushing this out there and our citizen super sleuthers, we can maybe get to this. So yeah, this individual came onto campus. It's been probably a month ago or so now. He rode a bike onto campus, but then as he found an individual that walked by him, he parked his bike, followed her for a half a block or so, and as she was trying to get into a building, ran up behind her, grabbed her buttocks. She turned around, confronted him, and he just ran off. But still, there was the assault that happened. So we would like to try to talk to this individual. As you can see from the photos, he was wearing all black. He is a blonde individual, did have a light beard, average build. There was she didn't really, the survivor of this didn't have any like specific identifiers from him other than kind of average, and nothing like super tall or anything like that. So, but again, was wearing all black, blonde hair. It seems like from some of the videos and photos that we can get, it might be thinner on the front, but kind of hard to tell just because of the lighter color of it. Described late teens, early 20s, we think. But yeah, all black, came into campus on a bike. Came from like the Haymarket downtown areas the first time we pick him up on camera coming onto campus, and then he left southbound on 17th off of campus. So if you came from, or you frequent those areas, or anybody in that area that kind of resembles this person, if you could give us a call, that'd be awesome.
And again, like I said, you had a tip that pointed to a person. You went, you talked to him. Wasn't them?
Yep.
So you move on.
Yeah, so we move on. So that's what we're doing, just to cover all our bases. But yeah, some citizen was like, hey, this looks like person X. And so we went out there and tried to talk to him, and there were certain characteristics that just didn't match. And so we were like, okay, we're good. Thank you. And we moved on.
On your way. And that individual's not in any trouble. They can go about their day too.
Absolutely.
But this person, again, biking onto campus, if they biked onto campus for this, they probably biked onto campus before, sort of trends, I guess. Putting on my super sleuth hat may not fit all that great, but I try my best.
And then just in case people are wondering, it did happen on June 28th, so we're a little over a month and a half back when this happened. So, and approximately in the midnight time frame on that date. So
okay, and so if someone thinks they know something, what's the best way to get in touch with you guys?
Well, our phone number is up on the board, the 472-2222. You can text us, but as we talked before, if you want to be part of the reward process, you got to use the Crime Stoppers app to try to be eligible for that. So the LincolnCrimeStoppers.com or the P3 app.
And I know you guys really like that P3 app because you can have a little two-way conversation.
Yep.
You know, sometimes it's just I need to follow up on this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have this? Did they have that? Or, those type of deals. So, and again, as we get closer to the school year, as we about to segue here into the back to school, these are good numbers for folks to just have on their phone. Hopefully they never have to reach out to you, but it's good to have them and not need them than need them and not have them.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're an incoming freshman or just new to the UNL community, definitely put that 472-2222 number in your phone and program it, and give us a call if you ever need anything on campus.
There you go. And you guys text, which I think is really cool.
Yep.
You can put that text number in there.
Absolutely.
Get a hold of you guys that way.
Yep.
All right, so to the back to the school stuff, there's a myriad of kind of topics we can go into here. We'll start first with just move-in. Mm-hmm. Got the move-in website here punched up. Again, this is just UNL's website, housing.unl.edu/move-in. So kind of, again, like we just said, there's about to be 25,000 people on campus.
There's going to be
15,000 cars. Traffic is going to be a nightmare.
Yep. So starting Sunday, if you don't have a reason to be on campus, probably don't come down, because there's going to be a lot of new people driving around trying to figure out where to go, which parking garage to get to, which housing unit as I'm going to. But in the recent years, our housing people, they do a magnificent job of getting housing to run like a seamless project, and so, but it is new this year that they are going to have their first process is going to be on the east side of the stadium. So their big move in, like where they greet the cars, tell you where you're going to be, their process of how they get on that. They were
in the loop there?
Yeah, in the loop. They were at the Devaney Center where they started that, but now they're moving it to the east side of the stadium. So it'll be a little bit congested in that area. So again, this weekend, starting Sunday, if you don't have a reason to be down there, probably just avoid the area and let us be able to get all these incoming freshmen and people that are moving into the residence halls in their places, and then we can come back and see the beauty of campus.
Is it even I would say, is getting there earlier better? I would imagine just all day is going to be kind of chaotic.
Well, so they run it almost like a cruise ship now, where you get we need you to show up between 8 and 8:30, and no time outside of that. Because then they have the company that they work with. You pretty much drive your car up to your residence hall. They have a team that throws all your stuff into these big bins. You can park, you can walk up to your dorm room, and probably about the same time you get to your dorm room, all your stuff is just there. And it is slick. They pump a lot of people in. It's much easier than what I did. I'm
not remembering it being this.
Yes.
I showed up, I think with my parents, and we hauled everything ourselves.
Up the stairs because the elevators were turned off.
On the 8th floor. I was in Smith 3, so it was even do I even get to use the elevator if I'm only going to the third floor?
No, but they have it. It's a well-oiled machine now.
That sounds like it.
Yes.
Jeez
So
Louise.
again, if you're coming in, please stick to your times, and it'll run pretty seamless. So but it is good. But again, if you don't need to add to the traffic, if you don't need to be down on campus, next Sunday through Wednesday, let's avoid it. And you can go to the East Campus Dairy Store. They'd love to see you, over the next couple of days and have some nice ice cream.
There you go, ice cream, and unfortunately, it's not supposed to be as hot. I think starting Sunday, but it'll still be. It's August.
Yep.
So okay, all right. So traffic-wise, is there anything going to be blocked off down there? So
14th and W will be closed southbound, and then Vine Street will also be closed from 16th westbound to Vine to the loop where they're going to be doing this. So those streets will be closed for the duration of the move-in.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So that's starting Sunday.
Yep.
And so one of the things a lot of these students likely could be moving in are bikes.
Absolutely. And we talk about this
primary method of a lot of students' transportation getting onto campus.
Yep. And so if you are, we always talk about, because one of the things that me and you talk about consistently on Crime Stoppers is the bike theft. So if you are coming down to campus and you're bringing that bike, and it's a nice bike, what should go with a nice bike is a nice lock. Be a really sometimes,
good stocking stuffer.
Unfortunately, some of our local criminals just know that the thinner little cable locks from a store, if you apply enough pressure, the right pressure, they just give. And so then they get to walk off with your bike, or ride off more particular. But so again, if you're bringing a bike, try to invest in a nice lock. U-lock is the one that we normally recommend. It's really hard to get through those, right? Someone has to put a lot of time and energy into that. And again, just also locking it up properly, so the lock goes through the frame, through the front tire, onto the bike rack, right? And that way they can't just, because we've seen that and we've talked about it in the past. They make the bike so efficient where you get to flip a lever to change your tire, but it also allows for the criminal to hear, this person didn't lock it up right. I undo your part of the bike, and then this front tire is not locked up. I match the two, and now I have a whole bike, and now we have two victims that have partial bikes. So doing that right. Another thing we recommend is just safety. Make sure we're riding in the bike lanes. If you're riding on the campus, there's certain things on campus that are designated bike areas, so make sure you check that out. And then helmets are always, a good thing to have. And then just, making sure you're checking on your bike every once in a while, because that's another thing that's hard for us too, is someone's like, hey, my bike got stolen, and we're like, okay, and it's, nearing the end of the semester, and we're like, well, when did you last see it? And they're like, well, when was the start of class? And they're like, August 25th, I locked it here, and I haven't seen it since then. And so then it makes it really hard for us to drive that. And another thing too is serial numbers off of them. You can take the serial number off, and you can actually register that with the university police department.
You could do that.
Yep. And so we go to our website at thepolice.unl.edu, and we have a place that you can register your bike along with any other valuable items. So if you're bringing a TV, if you're bringing your laptop, your stuff that you're bringing that's mobile and has serial numbers, you can register that with us. That way, if it does go missing, we have the serial number already, and you can do it once and forget it, and we have it. And then that way you can be like, I registered my laptop with you guys, and then so we can find it. And that way, if someone pawns it and it ends up on a eBay or something like that, we can match the serial number and we can identify, because there's a lot of laptops out there, a lot of Dells, a lot of MacBooks, and so we have to be able to tell which one's Bill's that if we find it. So
it's got this Belize sticker.
Got a nice sticker on it.
No, I didn't know that. Well, one, I didn't know that you could register your bike. Super convenient to be able to do that. Two, I didn't know you could register basically anything with you guys.
Yeah, if it's got a serial number and some value, register it with us, and we'll definitely. That way, if it does go missing, we can help you out, and we can just have the information. And it's because most people, there some people probably know or have their serial number for their laptop someplace at their house, but then they have to find it. But if you just look at it once while you're right in front of the computer and you just put it in there, then you one-stop shop, you forget it, and then you don't have to worry about it, and we have it. So
there you go. That's all good information. One of the other things, kind of a sticky subject a little bit, but we wanted to talk about. I talked about it with Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau on Monday, and that's sextortion. It's an issue for you guys. Again, young kids, messaging apps.
Yep.
Scammers.
They get in their own way sometimes. And, and college is one of those unique times, too, where this is probably the first time where students are away from their family. There can be some, social, lonely, looking for someone to connect with and that kind of stuff. So, if you're on campus or something happens and you're questioning it, come to the police department, talk to us about it. We'll try to help you through it. But when we get in front of the students and we talk to them, is if you've just met a person on some social media platform and there is some type of lewd interaction within minutes of meeting, I would probably start questioning the motive of why we've gotten to that level that fast, because that's what we see time and time again in the modus operandi of these criminals, is how they operate. Is it's a random connection, and within a very short time frame we are sending stuff to try to motivate the other person to send back, and then they get the, hey, now I have your photos, now I'm going to expose you if you don't give me money. And
that's some of these people are in different countries, and so it's just like you want justice done, but like it's one of those scenarios where it's almost impossible.
Yep, yeah. We start serving subpoenas, and all of a sudden the next IP address comes back to some overseas place, and you're like, oh, now we've run into a dead end a little bit, because if we serve a subpoena to some overseas company, they're like, University of Nebraska Lincoln. They're like, who? And they're like, yeah, I think it ends up in their shredder pretty quick if they have one. So, yep.
It's a good opportunity, and this is what Josh with the BBB said on Monday. Just a touch point, a time of the year for parents to have these conversations with their kids, and like to update your security and privacy settings on your social media, so that way you're not necessarily visible to everyone. Just want to take. It used to be stranger danger. Don't take candy from the van.
Right.
But now it's locked down.
Social media danger. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah, and we try to get in front of the students as much as we can. But if there's anything that just seems off about any interaction that you have as a new student on campus, new faculty, new staff, whatever, come to the police department and talk to us about it. We're there 24 hours a day.
You're a nice guy.
Absolutely. Give me a call. I'll work you through it, and I'll talk to you about what your options are, or whatever. And a lot of our cops, that's why we're there. We're to make sure that all the people that come onto campus get through their Husker career, whatever that is, as a student, staff, faculty, as safe as possible, and that's what we're looking to do.
100%. Yep. And then last thing, the season opener is 2 weeks, 15 days, 15 days away. You guys get a little break. It's down in Kansas City, right. not a home
away games. They're my favorite Husker games.
Is September 6th, I believe.
Yep.
And so all the usual kind of stuff kind of goes along. Clear bag policy.
Clear bag.
Make sure you're not. Just make sure you're being smart.
Yep.
If you kind of get ready.
Hydrate's key. Check your LTU with the traffic, because we have regular meetings with them, and I know there's going to be some construction that's starting in the downtown area. I believe on the Huskers.com they push the Waze app that will actually take you to the entrance we want you to use the fastest way possible. So we always encourage people to use that. And again, I think it's completely mobile tickets this year. So again, we always try to push people, put those tickets in your wallet or have them open prior, because again, with that many people, just the influx in and around the stadium, if you're hoping to load them while you're walking up to the stadium, might not happen. So if you can, go ahead and touch and go. So if you can preload those for us, that's awesome, because then it just allows people to get through the gate process as fast as possible.
And with those mobile tickets, again, I think we've talked about this before, don't be sending pictures. People can just take the barcode off there, and then you're out a ticket.
Yep. And some of the new technology, it's hard for them. If you just screenshot them, it won't work, because it's got some flashy thing that the readers know or whatever. So
I don't know how it all works.
I'm not that smart.
Way above our heads.
But again, definitely hydrate, get there early. Make sure you know where you're going, what side of the stadium you need to be on, and then wear your red and be loud.
Yeah, and just don't do stupid stuff in the stadium.
Right. Yeah, we always like that. Yeah, right. Yeah.
You always see a couple UNLPD officers moseying on over to the student section there. And
yeah, we keep our eye on everybody. So,
all right. Anything else? Again, obviously, I know this is top of mind for you guys over at UNLPD, but anything else kind of we need to know about it all?
I think one other thing that we'd also like to touch on is, like when you said having those touch points with your students, one of the things that we see that gets in the way of students maybe causing them some angst and some trouble are hit and runs in our parking garages, or just on campus in general. So, if you do have a young freshman or just a student coming onto campus, maybe having that conversation with them of, it's why we have insurance. If we get in a minor fender bender in the garage or whatever it is,
the world will not end.
It won't end. Just park, leave your information, call the police department so we can help facilitate the transfer of information. Because what we don't want to see happen is them doing the, oh no, mom and dad are going to get so mad, and we back out, we drive down 4 or 5 spots and park, and then we're like, shoo, I did it. Well, then we show up like 2 days later and we're like, hi Timmy, do you know why I'm here? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, did you park your silver Ranger with plate this right now? And they're like, oh yeah. Did you maybe touch the car neck? And they're like, and then their look on their face is just like, oh, you caught me. Well, then we have issues because now you've left the scene of an accident.
Now you're going to get a ticket.
Now there's some other ramifications that can happen with that. Instead of just, that's why we have insurance. That's why we can work through it without the extra citation or that kind of stuff, and just handle it that way.
So you're going to get more upset about the citation.
That part, right? Yeah. You're not gonna walk away from it. So yeah. So again, if you have that, have that conversation with them, just tell them like, hey, it's part of being a grown up, right? We fix the situation. We don't run from it and then try to, hopefully it just wishes away. But then let us help you and let us have that communication between the parties, so we don't have to scratch you out a ticket if you do that. So, but we see that a lot on campus, and then that's something that we're trying to get in front of the students even more of like, hey, let's just handle it right. And then, because again, some people are like, oh, it's a tiny scratch, I don't care. Yeah. And then they don't want to worry about it. But again, if you leave and they find it, then they're like, well, someone's hit my car, and now I'm upset about it, and then now I want to file a report and that kind of stuff. So we get in that.
Was lucky enough, I admit I accidentally bumped someone coming to a stop at a stop sign. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
It's
okay. And we got out, and he looked at it and he's like, I don't even see anything. He was very kind. He was very gracious. And we went on our way. And that was it. But I was like, I felt like a big dumb stoop, but
right, yeah.
It resolved itself.
Right. Yeah. So if you are having those conversations with your future Huskers coming in, just remind them like, hey, that's what it's for. That's why we have the insurance. Just leave your information, and we'll move onward and upward.
There we go. All right. Well, Captain Pembleton, really appreciate your time today as always.
Yep, no
all
problem.
Good information. Hope everyone, like you said, has a great start to the school year.
Let's get in here and let's get them all educated.
There you go. Get them out, the next generation.
All right.
All right. Appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching again another edition of Crime Stoppers. Hope everyone has a nice Wednesday. Until next time, we'll see you later.